Do you think this roster is good enough to do anything in the playoffs?
No, I have questions about it now. To start the season, I'll say this every time. I thought 1 through 53 is different than 1 through 22. Like, if you include depth, I looked at the Colts and the Saints, and I thought, boy, 1 through 53. And by the way, they both lost their quarterbacks, and look, they were okay. They stayed afloat, and the Saints better than that. That wasn't the Cowboys. But 1 through 22, I thought they had the best starters in the league. Like, I just looked at the talent everywhere. They have not played like that. And we just talked about Dak Prescott, and I love Dak's leadership. I don't think he is an MVP candidate yet. He can't elevate a bad team, but if you give him the tools, when you won the national title at Ohio State, I picked you guys because I saw Craig Krenzel, I forgot what regular season game, go down in 3 different pieces while he was being tackled, still get the ball out. I said, that guy can lead, but I wouldn't have picked him to elevate a whole team. I picked him because you guys were very talented. And when you have a guy like that, I thought it could put you over the top. This roster has not played like the kind of roster that Dak can just then put them over the top. The linebackers, especially Bobby, who I came into the season thinking, oh my God, I'd take them over anyone. Forget about Van Der Esch's injury. He wasn't playing well before he was like, they were fooled too often. They were like athletic and energetic, but not where they were supposed to be too often. Him and Jalen Smith, who was bad yesterday. I'm starting to think I overrated the talent of the starters on the Cowboys.
I think you're making it far too complicated, and I don't think that we can reasonably look at the Dallas Cowboys roster and say that is the issue. Coaching is the issue. Leadership is the issue, but not talent. You've got one of the best running backs in football. We all know Dak Prescott is no scrub. Amari Cooper, when healthy, can ball. As long as he's not going against Stephon Gilmore, he's all right. Okay, we look at Gallup. He can play. Witten is a security blanket at that tight end spot. Of course, he's older and all of this other stuff and just came out of retirement to play and obviously expected a lot better, but he's still an upgrade for the level of production they had when he was gone. And then when you look at their defense, some of the personnel that they have, whether it's Lawrence, whether it's Smith, Van Der Esch has been out, but Sean Lee, when healthy, when he's on the field, he can still play. I'm not trying to tell you they could win a Super Bowl per se, but when you look at their talent, it is clear that they have the talent to be in the picture and in the conversation. The reason why people like me summarily dismissed them from that is because we knew who was coaching them. We knew what kind of impact he would have. And we knew that Jerry Jones would not get rid of him. If you took this same exact roster and had a better coach, at the very least, they would have at least 8 to 9 victories right now. They wouldn't be 6 and 7. They would be more like 8 and 5 or a 9 and 4. I'd say 8 and 5 is a safe bet. That's what we would be looking at, which would put them right in a playoff picture, clearly a few games ahead in first place, and we wouldn't be having this discussion. We're having this discussion because of coaching, not because of talent.
So, Max, you brought up something important. When you're talking about the Saints, Sean Payton's their head coach. He does a heck of a job. You're talking about Jerry Jones. The roster he has constructed here for this team, for Jason Garrett, 15 unique Pro Bowlers on this team. That's talent. They've got everything they need. They have 3 Pro Bowlers on the offensive line, and they have a Pro Bowl running back. And I go back to a guy who's one of the best team builders in all of the NFL, Bill Parcells. And he famously said when he was coaching the Patriots, if you're going to ask me to cook the dinner, you better let me shop for the groceries. Jerry Jones has given Jason Garrett great groceries.
He got the hogs up front, that's for sure.
Everything.
Yeah.
But utilize them. Utilize Zeke Elliott. Get him the football. On the first drive last night, he got the ball 6 times. They pound it down there. They score.
Easy.
You're up. You're feeling good. 8 times in the second half. That's what he got the football. Or it was 8 and 11. Like, get him the ball more. They are better with him. They have all the talent they need. Stephen, I got to agree with you on this, and I usually think that you might be half crazy sometimes, but this is correct. Like, they have issues. They have penalty issues. In the last 5 games, they're 1 and 5. They are 3rd in the NFL in defensive penalties. That is keeping their defense on the field. They're not meant to be out there that long.
I agree with the coaching situation. I thought they gave up the season before the season began by not moving on from Garrett. But what I thought was, that'll prevent them from winning a Super Bowl. This roster's so talented. They can't screw it up to the point where they won't at least make the playoffs, maybe go on a little run, but they won't win the Super Bowl with Garrett. I don't think they'll get to the Super Bowl with Garrett. I was confident in that. I thought maybe they win 10, maybe 11 games. I never thought in week 14 they'd be under 500. That's not, they missed tackles, their penalties, the special teams was so good. All the things that say bad coaching. By the way, constantly facing third downs, going away from the running game after. All those things are bad coaching. But even the talent just isn't playing up to. They're making mistakes. They're getting, Jalen Smith's getting picked on. Why? That's a one-on-one situation. Why is he getting picked on? He's a great athlete.
They're putting these guys in bad situations. Defensively, they've been on the field too much. And that's the issue. Like, this team was built to run the football and limit the exposure of the defense. They're very athletic, but the more they're out there, the longer guys can get exposed. They begin to miss tackles, and those things become evident at that point in time. And so when I look at this, they're going to make the playoffs. As much as people want to hate it, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to get a home game because they're going to win the NFC East. And here's the reason no one's going to
lose the game. They don't beat good teams.
You say that, but the worst thing that anybody wants to play is a talented team that underachieves. Because on any given day, when they manage to wrap that thing up, Stephen A., and pull that thing together, they're a tough team to beat. You watched them go to New Orleans last year and win a game.
I like you saying that because you're a typical Cowboy lover. See, what you're doing is you're sprinkling out hope. And I don't mind. Because
loves hope.
The Dallas Cowboy fans, the pathetic, nauseating, disgusting fan base that they have, is going to gravitate to that. They're going to eat all that up, and they're going to say, shit, we still in first place. We ain't giving up. We're going to be here. Watch, Stephen A., watch. That's what they're going to say. And like I told you, it's set up. It's set up right around Christmas time. There's going to be a plummet that takes place around New Year, right? You know, instead of the ball dropping, maybe whatever the case may be. First playoff game January 5th, I believe. That's what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do. They're going to go.
Stephen A. is not half crazy. You misunderstand. He's sadistic. He likes hope. He likes when you sprinkle hope because without hope, you can't have the utter pain that he's hoping for.
I would usually say that sounds like such a vile word to associate with somebody as nice and as kind-hearted as me. But when it comes to the Dallas Cowboy fans, Max is absolutely right.
He's absolutely right. Misery.
Sadistic is an appropriate word because I can't stand them. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.